are against you.
The odds are always against me.
So, hello, Alexander.
Hello, how are you, Sophia?
Nice to meet you and welcome to Lewis Magazine.
Thank you very much.
How are you? You good?
I'm actually excellent. I'm pretty fantastic right now.
Yes, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet you are. Um, Tell me, your portrayal of Ravi in Gladiator 2 has been described as an emotional heart of the film.
Yeah.
How did you approach bringing such depth and compassion to a former gladiator turned healer? And what were the most challenging aspects of capturing his journey?
It's a very good question. I, I approached it thinking because when you're, I mean, walking onto a set like a Ridley Scott set, everything is massive, everything's huge, and you've got all these costumes, and you've got they built the Colosseum scaled 1 to 1, and everything is just so large and so sort of out of the ordinary and heightened. The violence is brutal, and everything's just loud, right?
I can
And so I thought to myself, should I do a bunch of research into the history of the? And then I thought, no, I need to go the exact opposite route. I need to think of Ravi as someone from your present day. I need to think of the relationship between Ravi and Lucius as just two mates sitting, having coffee at a cafe or in at someone's house, and just sort of sharing with each other and becoming. How do you become friends? You show your vulnerability, and you show your what you love, what you're afraid of, your fears, and your dreams and aspirations, and so I wanted to make Ravi someone that we could recognize rather than a sort of figure from the past. Or it's very easy. You can easily be burdened with all the heavy sort of makeup and the sets and everything,
Yes.
that you start sort of emoting and acting as if you start acting as if it were 2,000 years ago, or your idea of how people acted back then. But I wanted him to be grounded.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. I was just listening to you. Continue talking. Working alongside Denzel Washington.
We need to pause for that one. The pause was important, Denzel. Just let that linger there for a minute.
Pedro Pascal and Paul Mescal, and under the direction of Ridley Scott, is not small thing. What was it like collaborating with them on set, and how did Ridley Scott's vision guided your performance?
Ridley is obviously he's Ridley Scott, and so he knows what he's doing, and he knows that once you walk onto his set, you're going to be overwhelmed by what you see and what you experience. And he has this wonderful ability to make everybody feel like we're just here to have some fun. We're here to play. It's a serious game. It's an expensive game, but it's a game. Let's bring some fun into it. Chew the scenes a little bit. Find whatever little bits and pieces you can find of flesh and life, and sort of make it pop where you can make it pop. Don't just go through the motions, and he just gives you that space and the space and the freedom to do that. I mean, he sets the table for you. It's perfectly set. You've got all the props that you might ever dream of having, and you've got all the greatest actors and the greatest sets and the greatest everything and the greatest script. And then he just says, okay, so now everything's been laid out. Now go and have fun. And and that's what we did. I every day was just having fun, just finding little moments and little pieces of business or pieces of character, and exploring that.
Fantastic.
And as far as, I mean, the other actors, my God, I mean, all my scenes are with Paul, most of them, and Paul is an extraordinary talent. He has something that you only see once, twice per generation. He has the ability to be really hard and really soft at the same time. So he's tough, but he's not playing a superhero. He's not, he's not just tough. He also has that vulnerability that you might see in a young Brando or a young De Niro,
Yeah.
where sure they can be dangerous. He can be Don Corleone, but it can
Yes,
also be
exactly.
very, very, very sweet and soft. And that's a duality that's super interesting to watch, and that's why he is who he is, and he's gotten to where he's gotten is he has that sort of the vulnerability, which is perfect for the part of Lucius. And so working with him, he's just the nicest person you could ever want to meet. You can't even imagine that he's carrying a $300 million film on his shoulders when you walk on set. It's like a guy you bump into at the pub. He's like, hey, he's just the nicest, and he's nice to everybody. He's just generous, nice, invites you in, uh, doesn't try to sort of, you'd never know that he was the lead of the film when you're doing a scene with him. He never sort of, you know, he never, yeah, you'd never think
Yeah.
it.
He's down
Yeah,
to earth, very down to
he's
earth.
extremely down to earth, very, very grounded.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Um, as a prominent actor in Scandinavia, transitioning to Bollywood projects, what does this pivotal role in Gladiator to mean to you personally and professionally, particularly with the film's global success?
I mean, personally, I'm from a filmmaker family. Both my brothers are filmmakers,
Oh,
directors, and we've cinema has been our, it's in our we ate movies as kids. We've been watching films. That's all we've done. That's all we talk about is cinema. All we, you know,
something you are
we
really
live for cinema.
passionate about.
We're extremely passionate about movies and film, and the first behind the scenes featurette that we ever saw was Alien, Ridley Scott's Alien. And that's when I could barely crawl. And from that moment on, we've seen all of his films. We had Blade Runner on repeat in our house. And so Ridley's been sort of, he's been, he's been a member of our family since forever. He doesn't know that a Ugandan family in the southern parts of Sweden has him as an honorary member, but yeah, he's a member of our family. And so just personally, when I got the part, it was a beautiful moment when I could call my wife and say, I got this, I got the part, and she was thrilled and she cried. And but it was another thing to call my brothers
Oh
and I could
yeah.
say, because I hadn't even told them that I auditioned for it.
Oh, it
You
was.
don't want to jinx anything. So I just called them out of the blue and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to make that thing in January. Like, why? I'm shooting with Ridley. It was just such a great moment. It was just a beautiful, beautiful moment to be able to call them and say,
What did they
"Look,
say? How was their reaction? Screaming?
oh, they were through the roof. I mean, they both of them were like, oh my God, you're shooting with Ridley. Do you mean Scott, or is there another Ridley that we don't know about? Is it Scott? I'm gonna come. I gotta go. I gotta come do a set visit. I'm like, come, come. But yeah, no, so personally, it was just a huge full circle moment to be able to work with someone that great and who's also been such a big part of my life since
Yes.
I could, as far as I could remember. Um, Professionally, I mean, it's I've done a lot of different parts, but there's something hugely different about this. There's a definite before and after this came out. I thought that all the focus was going to be on the Denzel's in the movie, and I thought I'm not even gonna. I might do one or two interviews. I might talk to someone, or I might go to the premiere in Stockholm, but I'm not a chance I'm going in London or in. But then, as it turned out, people appreciated the part, and we did the whole premiere in London. We did, a bunch of press. I mean, just massive amounts of press, and and the character seems to have resonated with audiences. The response has been phenomenal, both from the industry and from uh, just people in the street.
Yes.
And so it's great to be a part of something with so much history and a movie that means so much to people. It's great to have, you know, 50-year-olds walk up to you talking about how they saw, the first one when they were in their 20s, and then now they get to
Yeah,
see this, and then yeah, it's a great legacy to be a part of.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Alexander.
Thank you.
Ravi is not
Yeah.
only a complex character, but also a figure of and wisdom. What? How did you balance his strength as a former gladiator with his vulnerability as a healer and confidant to Paul Mescal's character?
I felt that Ravi used to be a gladiator,
Mhm.
and a gladiator, that's a show of strength, physical strength. But I feel that Ravi has found true strength. And true strength comes from healing, not destroying. True strength comes from love, not war. Strength comes from family, not power. And for the character of Ravi, I felt that line, "What we do in life echoes in eternity." When Ravi says that line, he's not talking about, if you could become a senator, if you could have a statue of yourself, or if you could have gold, or own your own gladiators. What he's talking about is his family,
Yes.
because what we do in life does echo in eternity, but not through power. It echoes through your children and their children and their children after them. That's how your good deeds will spawn good deeds for the next generation and the next and the next and the next. And so you can break a chain of violence and become a healer instead. Then that's what's going to echo in eternity. And so he's he used to be a gladiator. He used to have big muscles, but now he's stronger than ever.
Because he's got the mind muscle now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Um, from The Wheel of Time to Young Woman and the Sea, and now Gladiator 2, your career is increasingly reaching global audiences. What differences or surprises have you encountered when working on Hollywood productions versus Scandinavian projects?
The money. No, I'm kidding. The dollars. No. uh, no, I mean it's I always, because people ask me that a lot, and obviously the productions are a lot bigger.
Yes.
They're massive. They're impressive. Scandinavian movies tend to be other genres than the global films, because we don't really compete in the world of sci-fi or adventure, or our movies tend to be more set in our reality.
Yes.
And for budgetary reasons, obviously. I mean, we don't make our movies cost about, a high budget Swedish movie is $5 million. That's a massive budget.
Mhm.
And so that's, I mean, that's one of the differences, is just the aesthetics of it. When you walk onto a set in an international film, it's just bigger. But at the end of the day, you're on set. You've got another actor made of flesh and bone in front of you. Whatever name, whatever, how many Oscars they have, they're still just a human being sitting
Yes.
across from you, hoping that the scene is going to go well. And someone's going to hit a marker, and the marker looks the same everywhere. Camera's going to be pointed at you, and the lens looks exactly the same as everywhere else. And then someone's going to say action, and it's the exact same thing. When you just remove all the sort of like all the other stuff. You remove all
Yes.
the huge sets and the Colosseum and the and the Ridley Scotts. Um, at the end of the day, it's really the same work. It's the same job. Um, just act when someone says action.
Yes, I've spoken to an actor as well who told me that, a camera is a camera and a crew is a crew.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And they're always the fun thing is, and the great thing about making films is that a crew is always the same wherever you are. If you're shooting a film for a student filmmaker in a small town in Sweden, the DP guy is going to have the same attitude as DPs always have. The boom operator is going to behave like a boom operator behaves. You're going to be the same type of individual. You know what I mean? All directors are the same type of individuals, and the script supervisor is the same type of individual everywhere. And so whenever I walk on a set, I just feel like I'm coming home. It's like
Yes,
I'm meeting family. I'm like, if you're a sound guy, I know what you like to talk about. I know how to and like it's and an actors are all the same too. And so it's interesting to travel around the world and just meet more of the same, more family.
fantastic. Thank you so much. Um, with Gladiator 2 performing so strongly at the box office, there's immense buzz around the film. How do you feel about the reception so far, and what message or emotion do you hope audiences take away from your portrayal of Ravi?
I mean, the reception of the film has been beyond, beyond. It's been fantastic. I think that I mean, making a sequel to a film that's as beloved as Gladiator was or is a challenge. You're always going to have the naysayers, obviously. You're always going to have the people who don't want you to tarnish the legacy of that great film. And I think that what really's done is he has created I mean, to me, Gladiator 2 is what Godfather 2 is, Godfather 1. It's just the natural progression of the story, and sort of what would happen if we continued the story in an organic way. It doesn't seem forced. It doesn't have that sort of we had to make a second one, whatever the story is. It's just the actual natural progression of part one, which I love. Um, and so I feel that I mean the response has been phenomenal. People seem to love the film. I've had people say they've seen it 4 or 5 times now in theaters, which is great. Um, and I hope that I really wanted Ravi to be just an isle of calmness in a sea of war. You know what I mean? Like I want you to, as you're watching the film, there's all these things happening. There's the arena with the rhinos and sharks, and there's battle scenes, and there's high stakes, and the heads getting chopped off, and all the madness of ancient Rome. And I wanted the audience to sort of go when they got to spend some time with Robbie. So that's what I hope the audience takes away is that feeling of just take a breather and just sit and listen. I've got some wise things to say.
You know,
uh,
I'm flying to the UK tomorrow,
yeah.
and I'm gonna watch Gladiator on my own. That will be my because I'm going, and then my son can stay with his dad, and I can have my cinema night. So I'm gonna go alone.
Alone.
I love
Beautiful.
cinema alone. I love it.
I love it more than anything. Even going to dinner alone and then a movie.
Yeah, yes, it's my date night with me.
Yeah, I love it. I do it all the time when I'm away shooting. I'm like, actors call you, they're like, "Hey, let's go out." I'm like, I'm not feeling well. Just sitting there having dinner alone, get my big popcorn alone, watch a movie. Nobody's arguing which movie to watch. You
Exactly.
know?
So that's one of my things to do. I'm really looking forward.
Yeah.
So, and I know I'm gonna love it.
I hope you will.
Now I have some of our different questions to ask. Uh,
Please do.
Imagine you're stranded on an island
Okay.
and you can only bring one of your characters with you. Who would you choose, and how do you think you would survive together?
Wow. That's a good question. I would think, I think I would have to choose Ravi because I think that Ravi, apart from being calm, he won't freak out. A lot of my characters would freak out on that island. Uh, they wouldn't cope at all. But I also think since Ravi is 2,000 years old,
Mm,
or he lived 2,000 years ago,
yes.
he knows how to handle a little bit of rough and tumble. And he's an ex-gladiator. So if there are
Oh, yeah.
any dangerous animals, he can protect.
Nothing.
I think he's good to have a chat with. He smokes opium, so I guess we could have a drink together if he stomps some grapes or something. I don't know. I'm sure he can make some wine. No, yeah, definitely Ravi. He has all those fun potions and stuff in his. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Ravi.
Okay, thank you. Um, if one of your characters could take over your life for a day, which one would you trust the most, and what do you think they would get up to?
Wow. Um, I think I'd have to say Ravi again. You see, because Ravi, he wouldn't mess anything up. He'd be nice to my kids. You know, he seems very family oriented, or he is very family oriented. He loves his wife and his kids. That's the most important thing in his life. He wouldn't get up to mischief, but also if anything happened, he could protect the kids and the wife too. But he could protect people. If there was a burglary or something like that. A lot of my other characters, I just shot a movie called The Dog. We filmed it in Kenya, and that character MZ. I mean, he's like a no good drug dealing like thief. Yeah, he's just up to no good. Like if he took over my life, mayhem would ensue. I'd come back to nothing.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
wife would kick me out. Kids would hate me. The cops would be banging down the door. No, 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 Ravi.
Okay, and obviously this is my personal one, but I think you've already replied to it. From all the characters you've played so far, you'd probably be Ravi. If you could go down a pub for a drink, who would you choose?
To go to a pub with, hang out
Yes,
with at the pub.
yes.
Maybe I would choose MZ from the dog because sure he's a no good drug dealing, thieving,
It would be
you know,
it would be fun.
outlaw. But I think that if I'm out for a night of fun, like fun, I mean, if you could exclude the whole getting arrested at the end of the night part, um, probably MZ is the most fun. I think Ravi would sit in a corner and sort of just have a calm,
Observing.
just observe, have a calm drink, and not not get into any trouble. MZ would yeah, he'd raise the roof. he'd uh, he'd have some fun.
Fantastic. So thank you so much, Alexander. It's been a pleasure
It's been an
talking to
absolute
you.
pleasure. Let me just
Uh,
say, I love that hair.
oh, nice, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
This is my interview week.
very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. Hold on to that one.
Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
may your success continue to rise. You're
Thank you so much.
so down to earth as well, so fun to talk to. So I wish you all
Thank you.
the best, Alexander.
Sophia, thank you so much. And have a great day and a Merry Christmas.
Oh yes, Merry Christmas. Yes,
Yeah,
fantastic. This is a fantastic Christmas.
I know. It is.
Okay, Alexander, thank you so much.
Take
Take
care.
care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.